You picked a favorite color before you could explain why. Before you had the words for it. Before anyone told you what it meant. And you have probably never changed it. That's the first strange thing. Ask most adults what their favorite color is, and they answer immediately without hesitation, with the same answer they gave at age 6. Something locked in early and stayed, and for decades, scientists assumed this was trivial. A preference, a quirk, background noise in the larger story of personality. They were wrong. What your brain does with color turns out to be one of the most revealing windows into how your nervous system is wired, how you process threat, how you seek connection, how you regulate your own internal world. The color you are drawn to isn't decoration, it's data. Here is what the research actually shows. People who consistently choose blue as their favorite color, and blue is, by a significant margin, the most commonly chosen color across cultures and continents, score consistently higher on measures of conscientiousness and agreeableness in personality research. They tend to be methodical, trustworthy, and calm under pressure. There is a reason blue dominates the branding of banks, hospitals, and technology companies. It isn't arbitrary. Psychologist Andrew Elliott at the University of Rochester has spent years studying color and behavior, and his research consistently finds that blue environments lower physiological arousal. Heart rate drops, breathing slows, cortisol decreases. The brain reads blue as safety, as open sky and clean water, as the absence of immediate threat. If blue is your color, your nervous system may simply be telling you what it needs most. Stillness, reliability, a world that stays predictable. Red is the opposite signal entirely. People drawn to red score higher on measures of extroversion and sensation seeking. They tend toward confidence, competitiveness, and a higher tolerance for risk. Elliott's research found something remarkable. People shown red before a competitive task performed worse on cognitive tests requiring focus, but performed better in tasks requiring physical power and speed. Red triggers the fight response. It raises alertness, increases heart rate, and primes the body for action. In nature, red means blood, ripe fruit, and warning. The brain never stops reading it that way. Choosing red as a favorite color may say less about aesthetics, and more about how your nervous system relates to arousal. Some brains find that activation energizing. Some find it overwhelming. The ones who find it energizing are often the ones who call red their favorite. Green sits at a different point in this spectrum entirely. Evolutionary psychologists have long noted that green triggers a specific psychological response linked to safety and resource availability. It signals vegetation, water proximity, and fertile ground. Research published in the journal Environment and Behavior found that exposure to green environments measurably reduced anxiety and improved restoration after mental fatigue. People who prefer green tend to score higher on openness to experience and lower on neuroticism. They often describe themselves as grounded, patient, comfortable with growth that takes time. There is something worth pausing on here. Across different cultures, different languages, different continents, certain color preferences cluster around certain personality traits with a consistency. That surprised researchers when they first mapped it. This is not astrology. There are no mystical explanations required. What is likely happening is simpler and stranger at the same time. The same brain that evolved to read color as environmental information is the brain making aesthetic choices. When you are drawn to a color, part of what you may be drawn to is the physiological state that color produces in you. The calm of blue, the charge of red, the ease of green. You aren't choosing a color. You are choosing a feeling. And the feeling you keep choosing, across decades, without thinking about it, is a portrait of your nervous system's deepest preferences. There is one more piece to this that researchers did not expect to find. Color preference appears to be partially stable across cultures, suggesting a biological component, but it also shifts across a lifetime in ways that map onto psychological change. Studies tracking color preference across adulthood find that people moving through periods of anxiety tend to shift toward blues and greens. People moving through periods of expansion and confidence tend to shift toward warmer tones. The color you love most right now may be less about who you have always been, and more about where your nervous system currently lives, which means the color you chose at 6 and the color you would choose today might be telling two different stories. And the gap between them might be the most interesting story of all. Maybe the colors we love aren't random preferences we picked up somewhere and forgot to put down. Maybe they are one of the quietest ways the mind has of telling us without words exactly what it needs.